In a narrow, dusty street filled with noise, broken pavements, and rushing lives, lived a street dog everyone called Shadow. He had no collar, no owner, and no home, only the open sky and the cold ground. People passed him every day, some afraid, some annoyed, and most completely unaware of his existence. Shadow had learned early that the world was not kind to street dogs. Stones were thrown at him, children chased him away, and shopkeepers yelled whenever he came close. Yet, despite the cruelty, his eyes held a quiet strength, as if he believed life still had something meaningful waiting for him. Every morning, Shadow followed the same routine, searching for leftover food, avoiding fast-moving vehicles, and guarding a small corner near an old tea stall. That stall belonged to a poor but gentle man named Ion, who sometimes shared his stale bread with Shadow. Ion was struggling in life. He worked long hours, earned little, and carried worries heavier than his body. But unlike others, Ion never treated Shadow like a burden. He spoke to him softly, as if Shadow understood every word, and in many ways, he did. Over time, an unspoken bond formed between the man and the dog. Shadow waited for Ion every night, sitting quietly near the stall. For Shadow, Ion was not just a source of food, he was proof that kindness still existed in the world. One rainy evening, the street was unusually silent, shops closed early, and the road lights flickered weakly. Ion finished work late that night, exhausted and soaked. Shadow followed him from a distance, sensing something was wrong. As Ion walked through a dark alley to reach home faster, he suddenly collapsed. His body hit the ground hard. Ion had suffered a severe asthma attack, struggling to breathe, his voice trapped inside his chest. Shadow froze for a moment, but only for a moment. His instincts kicked in. He ran towards Ion, circling him, barking loudly. The alley echoed with Shadow's desperate cries, breaking the silence of the night. People nearby ignored the noise at first, assuming it was just another street dog barking. But Shadow did not stop. He tugged at Ion's clothes with his teeth, trying to wake him, trying to help in the only way he knew. When barking didn't work, Shadow ran towards the main road and barked at passing vehicles, standing boldly in front of him. His fearless behavior forced people to stop. Curious and irritated, they followed the dog. Shadow led them back to the alley where Ion lay unconscious. Panic spread among the crowd. Someone called for help. Another called an ambulance. Shadow stayed close, standing guard as if protecting Ion from the world itself. The ambulance arrived just in time. Doctors said a few more minutes of delay could have cost Ion his life. As they carried Ion away, Shadow tried to jump inside the ambulance, whining softly. At the hospital, Ion survived. When he regained consciousness, the first word he whispered was Shadow. The nurse smiled and told him the truth. His life had been saved by a street dog. News spread quickly in the neighborhood. The same people who once chased Shadow away now looked at him with respect. Children brought food. Shopkeepers offered water. Shadow became a silent symbol of bravery. Ion returned home days later, weak but alive. The first thing he did was call Shadow. The dog ran towards him, tail wagging, eyes shining with joy. No words were needed, love spoke louder. Ion decided something that day. No matter how poor he was, Shadow would never sleep on the street again. He made space in his small room and shared his life with the dog who had saved him. Shadow's life changed, but his heart remained the same. He still watched the streets, still cared for other dogs, and still reminded people that even the forgotten souls carry purpose. This story teaches us that heroes don't always wear uniforms. Sometimes, they walk on four legs, covered in dust, ignored by the world, yet ready to give everything to save a life. Shadow proved that loyalty does not come from comfort, and courage does not come from power. It comes from love, gratitude, and a heart that refuses to give up. So the next time you see a street dog, remember Shadow. Remember that even the weakest can become the strongest when the moment calls. Kindness returns, sometimes in the form of a miracle. Subscribe to our channel for more motivational stories.